Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our yoga practice. So we're going to start by just becoming aware of the body, sitting on the mat, feeling your physicalness today, feeling your body. And notice your posture. Are you slouching? Is your lower back just dropping? So lengthen out the lower back, mid back, upper back, let the shoulders roll down, and have the crown of your head sit on top of the base of your spine. And notice how that opening in the front body really kind of liberates the diaphragm muscle to do its work of breathing and bringing more vitality in your body. So inhale, bring the arms up, reach way up, and then as you exhale, let the arms roll all the way back down on each side. And again, inhale, come up. And exhale, lower the arms down. Good. Inhale the arms up, palms together, thumbs touching, look up. And with exhalation, bring the hands in the front of the chest, thumbs to heart. And now simply open your heart to your practice today. And treat your body non-judgmentally with utmost kindness. And it may mean sometimes that you just simply go in child pose, you lie down, you skip a beat. And that's totally fine to do that. And inhaling to the very top of your lungs. Exhale out of your mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. Resume breathing in and out of your nose. Feel the breath in the back of your body. Sensing your whole torso breathe. Okay. And now let's bring the knees up. And if you're sitting on a prop, place it aside. And make your way up to it in all fours position, aligning the hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath the hips. Good, curl your toes all the way underneath. So let's stretch the soles of the feet, reaching way back with the hips as far as you can, releasing the chest down and the forehead down. And now lift your head, spread your fingers, pressing down with the mounds of the fingers, come up on all fours, inhale. And then exhale, again, reach back with the hips. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, reach back. And now to your comfort level, walk your hands forward. And it may be that you're here today because this may be a little intense on your ankles or toes. And if you can bring your hands on your legs or even in prayer pose over your chest. Interlace your fingers, take the arms up, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands back down to the floor, return to the all fours position. From the all fours position, let's move the spine in different directions, so rounding your back. And taking the chin in on the exhale. And as you inhale, keep your head down, bring the tailbone up. Open chest, gaze in front of you with a smile. Exhale, round the back, pressing the mid back to the ceiling, pressing through the arms. And once more, inhaling, opening forward into cow pose, and then exhaling into cat. Okay. And as you return back to center, make believe that you have somewhat of a heavy book in your lower back, and you bring it up. You want to keep it up. And bring your right toes on the floor behind you, lift the leg behind you. Good. And now bring your fingertips to the floor. So this is going to be your stance if you have wrist issue that prevents you from bringing the arm in front of you and releasing all the pressure on your wrist. The other thing you can do is to keep your hands into a fist. So one hand is in a fist, the other one, the fingers are down. Okay, so those are the options. So with the toes curled under, bring the leg behind you at hip level. Take the left arm back behind you. Reach back. And now reach forward and inhale. And then as you exhale, bring your elbow to your right knee. Inhale. Arm reaches back and forward. And then exhale, elbow to knee. One more time at your own pace. And when you're done, return your knee back down to the floor. Return your head down. And curl the toes under of the left foot. Again, lifting gently through the lower belly as if you had, a little weight in your lower back. Lift the leg back behind you at hip level. Take the right arm behind you. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, elbow to left knee. Come back, arm behind you. Arm forward, inhale. And then exhale. And now let's do this one more time at your own pace. And returning back to center with your knees down to the floor. Sit back on your heels, interlace your fingers, bring the palms up, look up. Lengthen the whole front of the body and see if you can reach back a little bit. And then bringing your hands back down to the floor. Curl the toes under, go into downward facing dog. Staying at the base of your toes, press through the arms, lift the hips up and back. Take your right leg and reach back behind you. Inhale. And exhale, lower your foot down. So you're reaching, you kind of just pay attention now to your left big toe and swing it back and up without turning your foot. And as you exhale, come on back down. Look between your hands. And from here, start to walk your feet forward. And with your chest over your thighs. Lengthen spine. Fingertips on the floor. And now wrap your arms behind you and grasp a hold of your elbows. And just relax your torso down. Now, if it's difficult on balance for you to have your feet together, bring your feet apart, please. So for a lot of people, feet apart is sort of the stance that's more comfortable or doable. Good. And then releasing the hands back down to the floor, to the outside of your feet, several inches forward. Swing your thumbs into the crease of the hips and press gently back. Feel your spine getting taller and come up to standing position. Good. Sorry, just needing to rearrange the camera a little bit. Good. And as you come up to standing position, we're going to do a series of upward salute into forward fold and into squat. Now squat to just your personal comfort level. Squatting all the way down may be too hard on your knees, so squat a couple inches and that's fine. So with your feet a little bit apart, which will be easier for the squatting, take the arms in front of you all the way up. Bring the palms together and look at your thumbs. Good. Stretch your inhale long. And hands in prayer pose over your chest, thumbs to crease of hips. Exhale forward and all the way down. Good. Now, draw your seat down towards the floor. Curl your toes under. Take the hands in front of the chest. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Lift your seat into forward fold. Forward fold. Look up. Take your thumbs in the crease of the hips. Come up to standing. Open the arms up in upward salute. Palms are touching. Inhale, look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands come together in the front of the chest. And we'll repeat that one more time. So arms in front of you and up, palms touching. Look at your thumbs and again, stretch your inhale long. And now stretch your exhale long as you take your thumbs in the crease of the hips. Fold chest over thighs, hands on the floor. Good. Lift your head, get your seat down toward your heels into squatting position, thighs parallel to the floor. Exhale, take your hands to the floor, back into Uttanasana, lift the hips up. Come up on your fingertips. Take your thumbs in the crease of the hips. Inhale, coming all the way up, palms touching, look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands come together in the front of your chest. Good. And reconnect with the earth here. Spread your toes. Spread the center of your heels. Feel grounded. It is very important with all that's happening around us to feel that we're inhabiting our body, that somehow we're so mentally concerned and emotionally also very concerned that the body can really be left behind. So being aware of these practices as practices of embodiment brings you back in your body so that you listen to the messages of your body. Good. Inhale the arms up. And bring the palms together, look at your thumbs. Stretch the exhale long, thumbs to crease of hips. Fold forward. Take your head and release it all the way down. Good. Come all the way down into the squat. Bring the hands in prayer pose. We're not going to go back up here, so take your hands back down to the floor, chest to thighs. Bring your hips up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up with your hands in the front of the legs. Lengthen the spine. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, hands to the outside of your feet. Right leg back. Hold one more breath. Align your fingers and toes. And now bring your knee down to the floor. And bring both hands on your knee. As you bring both hands on your knee, take the arms behind you, interlace your fingers, take the arms back, sink the hips. Bring the arms above the head. Take your left hand and circle it around your right wrist and just lengthen to the left. Now, as you come back to center, take the outside of your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Bring the hands together. And twist. Come back with both hands on your knees. Lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor and bring your leg back into a plank position. So from plank position, we bring the knees down, toes back behind you, a gentle tilt to the pelvis, and now we release the chest down in Ashtanga Pranama. Once you release the chest down and the chin down on the forehead, your butt will be up in the air. From then, we're going to slide the legs down and go directly. It's like, think about the cobra slithering forward and coming into cobra position. So from here, just shift your weight so that your chest is in between your hands. Good. And then take your chest down. Now press through the legs. Come right up into cobra. And exhale, push back in downward facing dog. Take your right leg and swing it back behind you on the inhale. As you exhale, slip your foot between your hands, bring your back foot to meet your front leg. Inhale, take the hands in the front of the legs. Open the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Take your thumbs in the crease of the hips. Come up to standing, arms up, palms together, look up. Exhale, hands come together in the front of the chest, arms alongside the body. Again, reconnect, spread your toes. Feel the length of your body. And so now as we continue to the opposite side, we're going to stretch the breath longer, make the breath almost longer than the movement. Bringing the arms up and inhale. Palms together, look at your thumbs. Hands in prayer pose, stretch your breath out into Uttanasana as long as you can, hands down to the floor, head down. Inhale, bring both hands in the front of the legs. Lengthen the space between the navel and the chest. Exhale, hands to the outside of the feet, left leg back behind you. Hold that one more breath here. Lifting gently from the lower belly. Bring the knee down and bring both hands on your knee. Good. As you bring both hands on the knee, lift the arms above your head and then sink the hips down. Take the arms behind you, interlace your fingers, take the hands back. And bringing the arms back up and circle your left wrist with your right hand and just lean, side stretch to the right. Now coming back to center, take the outside of your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Press your knee into your elbow. So remember that whole class on Tuesday on activating these hip muscles on each side. Bring the palms together. Press the elbows away from each other. Slowly twist. Take your time. Come back with both hands on your knee. Lift the chest. Inhaling. And a slow exhale, the hands come down to the floor, leg back into plank position. Be aware of not doing this with the hips. Good. Ashtanga Pranam, knees down, toes back, tilt the pelvis gently. Take your chest between the hands. Slither right into cobra on the inhale. And exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, left leg back, inhale. Exhale, slip your foot between your hands, bring your back foot to meet your front leg. Inhale, take the hands in the front of the legs, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Lift up, thumbs in the crease of the hips. Inhale, come all the way up, palms touching, look at your thumb. Exhale, hands come together. Bring the arms alongside the body. Feel your body. Standing in the center of the mat, you're going to open the legs out to the side. So you may need to shift your mat to face me or simply turn your head to see me. So open the legs apart. Good. And align the outer edges of your feet with the short ends of the mat and press the outer heels down. This is really important. Squeezing the hips in. Okay, good. Take your thumbs in the crease of the hips and just like we did in our forward fold, swing the hips back and just fold forward, taking your chest slowly over your thighs. Let your hands just slide down on your legs. And take your hands all the way down to the ankles, if possible. If not, grab blocks and you can place your hands on the blocks. That's fine. Good. Lift the chest. Press the elbows into your knees. Lengthen the spine tall. And now taking your fingertips to the floor, take your right foot and then turn your toes out just a little bit. Bend the knee and walk your hands toward your foot. And then coming back to center, take the toes to face forward. Now take your toes of your left foot open sideways a bit. Bend the knee, bring both hands to the left side of your body, and then come back to center. Let's do this one more time. Toes come back, open with right foot, and sink. Coming back to center, toes go forward, open the toes out to the side a bit, and again, sink on that side. And now, as you come back to center, all 10 toes face in front of you, lengthening the spine tall, lift the chest. And then walk your heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes. Take the chest over your thighs and bring the arms behind your legs and grasp a hold of your elbows if possible or your wrist. And now taking your thumbs in the crease of the hips, come up with a lengthened spine. So lift from your lower belly, returning back up. Good. And then just practice a few seconds of standing Shavasana. When we practice relaxation pose, we lie down. So now let's learn how to practice relaxation standing, which doesn't mean we're going to go to sleep. So you may be waiting in line somewhere and you're getting impatient. So palms facing forward, knees soft. Let the gaze of your eyes lower and slow down your breathing. Stretch the breath upward on the inhale and then downward with the exhale. Feel like there's a gigantic straw in the earth and it's connected to your body. Take that inhale. Bring in that solidity, that groundedness. Feeling the solidity and stability. And know that you can create that very quickly for yourself. From that place of solidity and stability, let's move into a balancing pose. The flamingo. So in the flamingo, we start with being in mountain pose, which is our base pose for all the standing poses. And we're going to shift our body weight to the right leg. Spread your toes. Good. So be aware here of not collapsing on the arch. Okay. So feel the lengthening in your big toe, little toe, and feel the center of the heel kind of spread and supportive. Now you're going to bring your left, before we bring the left leg up, squeeze the gluteus muscle to the side and squeeze it in. So on Tuesday, we were learning how to squeeze those muscles from crescent pose, placing the hand to the outside, the knees pressing in, feeling that contraction here and keeping that. Good. So from here, as we bring the knee up, we're going to place the sole of your foot on the opposite knee. Good. Lengthening the spine tall. You take the arms behind you. And you're going to take your left hand over your right wrist. Good. Now you can stay exactly where you are, or you can hinge from the hip and come forward a little. Feel that solidity, and it's okay to come in and out of the pose as many times as you need. And bringing the sole of your foot right down. There's no super graceful way to come out of this. Good. And now shift your weight onto the left leg, squeeze into the side. Good. And then from here, bring your right knee up. Good. Align your eyes really slowly, which your drishti, your focal point, will change as you lower yourself down. So sole of the foot, and then left hand, right hand on left wrist. And again, you can completely stay upright. Even if you need to hold on to a wall or a chair, that's fine too. And as you hinge from the hip, you can slowly come forward. And then simply sliding the sole of your foot down to the floor. Bring both arms up. Reach up. And bring the arms alongside the body. From here, we directly go down on the floor into child pose. So using blankets here if you need it, or the top of your feet, or blocks underneath the hips. And we're going to let the knees open up a little wider than usual for this. Good. Placing your hands on your knees, create circles with your torso. And now feel that stability and solidity just with your seat down onto the earth. We can feel that stability anywhere in the body. Good. And now taking your fingertips in front of you, hinge from the hips. And slowly take your belly and your chest down. Use a block underneath your forehead or whatever you need, and relax. So your knees are open almost the width of your mat. And now lift your head and slide your hands all the way back. And from here, come all the way down to the floor. And we'll just take a crocodile for a few seconds. Hands on top of each other, forehead down, upper chest lifted off the floor. Let the shoulders roll back. And now feel the groundedness from your belly to the earth. Feel that solidity and that stability. And now keeping your right hand underneath your forehead, bend your left knee, place your hand on the top of your left foot and squeeze that heel in towards your body. And then release down and change sides. Noticing the difference between left and right. And are we able to notice the differences without judgment? And release that leg back down to the floor. And we're going to move into Dhanurasana bow pose. Now both knees will be bent and you'll place your hands to the top of your feet. Those of you who can reach, you'll need a strap. And you can place your strap around both ankles and have the strap on each side. And so you can grasp it with your strap. Okay, so this is how you would use the strap, like right around the ankles. It's a little bit of a juggling act. You can tell that I don't use the strap very often. Okay, so you can place it around the ankles like this and simply pull in and lift up. Okay. And then the rest of you, take your chin down to the floor, bend your knees, place your hands to the top of your feet. Those of you who have knee issues, keep the knees just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. So probably you've been taught to keep the knees hip width distance apart, but if you have knee issues, bring it out a bit and bring the feet out a bit, okay? Now exhale and press the hips down into the floor. And as you inhale, push the feet back behind you, which will lift your chest, and lift your knees and thighs off the floor. And take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower down. And we're going to repeat this pose. So place your hands on the top of your feet or reconnect with each side of the strap. Exhale, press down with your pubic bone. And as you inhale, lift your knee, your chest, your thighs. Push the feet back behind you. And lower yourself back down to the floor and go right back into crocodile, hands on top of each other, and just jiggle the hips from side to side a few times. And now from here, you're going to roll over on your back. As you roll over on your back, bring both knees in the chest. And if you want, you can roll the knees in circles, which will be really nice on your lower back and your hips. A few times on one side, and then you'll shift. Good. And now from here, stretch both legs in front of you. Bring your legs together and your feet together. Good. Do a gentle tuck to both shoulders underneath and place your hands, the palms of your hands, to the outer thighs. We're going to go up in just an easy version of boat pose, Navasana. And from here, exhale and press down. Press down with the back of your hips and your sacrum. And as you inhale, come up. And again, you don't have to come up very far. If you'd like to go deeper, you can definitely do that. And then taking a breath in, and as you exhale, lower yourself down to the floor. So inversions are very difficult to teach in an online class like this. So those of you who have practiced with me the easy version of shoulder stand, then you can practice that. So you will need for this a couple of blankets or a bolster. So if you have a bolster, that's great. If not, a couple blankets folded like this on top of each other will be just fine for your hips. Okay, so this is what we'll be doing. So usually 2 blankets work well. The bolster works well. I like my meditation cushion, so that's what I'm going to use. Now, there's going to be 2 different poses here. One is supported and one will be a little bit more active. If you haven't practiced any inversions yet, being upside down completely, this is probably not a good idea to start today. Okay, so I'll have a class just devoted to that in the future. So from here, the first version, you want your lower back supported by your prop, your blankets, whatever. Both legs go up. Now, sometimes people like to put a strap here around the legs to hold up. Tuck the shoulders down and under, and take the chin slightly in. Now, if you're poking your chin up to the ceiling, make sure you grab a little cushion or a bed pillow to put behind your head. Good. I'm going to move forward here so I have enough room. Now, those of you that have practiced the shoulder stand with me, you can start on a prop like this, which really makes it easier for you to launch up. So I'm going to show you 2 different versions, the launching pad and no launching pad. Okay, good. So tucking the elbows in as close to the body as possible. Good. Bring your feet in like a semi-flex position and swing the legs up. Take your hands on your lower back. Good. Release the hips and press through the center of your heels. Good. So that's the launching pad, and then you can come back here and hang out with the rest of us. If you're not using a launching pad, you're going to hook your fingers like this right underneath your hips. Okay. Now, the advantage of this is that you can get your elbows a lot closer to each other. We want to do that, so we press with the back of the shoulders, that we're not pressing directly with the cervical vertebrae on the floor. Okay, good. So go ahead and hook, draw the shoulders down and under as much as you can, and feel now, like for instance, I only feel the back of my shoulders and my head on the floor. And that's what you want. And from here, you can come right up. We're not going into full shoulder stand right now because we don't have blankets underneath the back of the head, the shoulders to support the neck. So in this version, we're sort of supported by the geometry of the body, hands on elbows and shoulders. So feeling that triangle of support. Now, if you have a prop underneath your hips, then you can slowly release that. And if you don't, bend your knees. Bring your knees toward your forehead. Take your fingertips to the floor like this, or hold onto your hips. Okay? And then from here, lower each part slowly. Good. Legs up to the sky. Press to the center of your heels. And bring the legs down. Good. And then the rest of you, you still have your prop underneath your hips and your legs are up. And we're just going to bring the soles of the feet back down to the floor and rest for a moment. If your hips are already on the floor, grab your prop and place it underneath your hips like this one more time. And now remove that cushion from beneath your hips. Okay. And then from here, we're going to go into twist pose. So with your knees bent and your feet on the floor, scoot your hips a little to the left. Okay. Place the outside of your left ankle on the top of your right knee. And now what we'll be doing is dropping to the right, and the sole of your foot will touch the floor. Now, it may not touch the floor. If it doesn't, grab a blanket and place it underneath the sole of your foot or a cushion. Both shoulders need to be down. So if your foot is down, your shoulder is up like this, that's incorrect. Okay, good. So now when you are dropping on the right hip, the outside of your foot, okay, outside of your right foot on the floor, sole of your left foot on the floor, and chest facing up to the ceiling, arms relaxed. If this feels too intense on your hips, simply bend the knee and bring both knees like this, or put a block in between. Okay? Good. One more breath. And then return. Straighten the pelvis. Now bring your pelvis a little to the right. Place the outside of your right ankle on the top of your left knee. And then drop completely into the twist to the opposite side. And again, making sure your right shoulder touches the floor. And then let yourself very slowly return. Bring the hips back. Good. And stretch both legs in front of you. So this will be a nice opening in the front of the body, but especially the whole digestive system because lunch is coming up. Okay, so Tadaka Mudra means that we're going to bring the arms above the head, behind you. So you may want to look in my direction for a second to see. So you're going to take a breath in. And then as you exhale, you incrementally push the navel down towards the floor. Until it's like a crater lake. You see this? Right. So kind of the ribs are coming out. And then relax. Taking a breath in. So this is done, this squeezing down at the navel to the spine. Excuse me, that's done on a full exhalation. And when you need to inhale, simply relax the belly. Let the in-breath come up naturally. And then again, slowly exhale, press down, exhale, press down, exhale, press down. Hold it there if that's comfortable. Be careful if you have IBS, not to press too hard. And then relax. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring both knees gently into your chest. And come up to sitting position. So the last couple of weeks, I have been teaching 2 breathing practices that are very helpful to strengthen your diaphragm and your entire respiratory system. Thursday, I presented the science on this breathing, and it's quite lengthy, so I don't think I'm going to do that today, but that class will be taught again a lot, actually. So today, we're only going to practice one of the breathing, and let's see if that helps you to strengthen the diaphragm muscle in your respiratory system. Okay. So with this breathing, you're going to place your left hand on your diaphragm muscle. You're going to bring your right hand up. As you bring your right hand up, squeeze together your index and middle finger and bring those to the palm of the hand. So you'll be left here with this. Thumb to right nostril, ring finger, left nostril. And that doesn't change. Okay. So we're going to bring this, if you haven't done this before, you may want to take a quick look and watch first. You bring your fingers on each side of your nose and you bring it to where the nose indents. So what we'll do is we close both sides at least halfway, so about 50%. So you restrict the flow of your breath about 50%. So it's going to be a little noisy breathing, right? Then you take your hand away and you exhale through both nostrils, but with Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi breathing has a gentle sound in the back of the throat. If my mouth is open, it'll sound like this. So you simply reproduce that sound in the back of the throat very lightly, both on the inhale and exhale. So think about the sound of an ocean wave or blowing into a seashell or something like that. That's that kind of whispery sound. Okay, good. So this will demand a lot of mental concentration. So this is good for your focus, concentration, good for your mind. So let's go ahead and bring the right hand up. Those 2 fingers to the palm of the hand and then get your hand. If this is really hard because you have stiffness of the joint, just use your index finger and thumb as long as you're able to pinch the nose on each side. Okay, good. And as you come up, back straight, front open, place your hand on your diaphragm so you can feel that contraction. Okay, so what I taught on Thursday was to hold the breath to the count of 4 after. Only those of you who were present and heard every part of this on Thursday can practice that. The rest of you, don't hold your breath today, please. Okay? So we're going to exhale through both sides. Now, close the nostrils about halfway and inhale. Take your hand away, Ujjayi breathing. The mouth is closed. Take a normal breath in and out. Bring your hand back, fingers on your nose. A gentle exhale. Inhale, partially close your nostrils. Take your hand away. Exhale, Ujjayi. One more normal breath in between. If you're new at this, practice a normal breath in between. If you're not, keep continuing. Okay, so you want to do at least 10. We might not have time to do that today, but you can practice at home and then definitely send me emails if you have questions. So let's do this again. Watch for your head and neck, that your neck isn't doing this. Soft exhale. Inhale, partially close. Take your hand away. Exhale, Ujjayi. One more. Exhale. Inhale, partially close nostrils. Take your hand away. Exhale, Ujjayi. Take your hand down. Just notice how you feel. So it's helpful to have some tissues around when you're practicing this breathing. And also you may notice a real release in your sinuses. Okay, so this affects the paranasal sinuses. Good. So now keep your questions for the end and lie down on your back for Shavasana. So having a blanket or cushion underneath the back of your head and neck. You can use your other blanket and roll it like this in a roll to place underneath your knees. Okay. And if you don't need that, you can use that blanket to put here right across the belly. So you'd open the blanket like this, make a rectangle, and just put it across your belly during relaxation. Now, the gentle weight can be very soothing. Or, here's another option. If you have been feeling really ungrounded, you know that feeling? Your mind is distracted a lot or agitated, and your thoughts are going in whichever way direction. You're going to take that blanket that's folded in a rectangle like this. You're going to do this one more time. Then you're going to create a little hat, a little house here for your head. So it looks like this. This can be very, very soothing to the brain. So you bring that back part to the crown of the head and you smooth it on each side as much as possible. Okay? You probably don't want to close your ears completely because you won't be able to hear me. You'll fall asleep and wake up in an hour. So decide what you'd like to do with the blanket. If the crown of the head seems something that's soothing for you, go ahead and do that. Or place. Regardless of your blanket arrangement, the rest of the body will be the same. The feet 12 inches apart. Hands about 6 to 8 inches away from the sides of the hips. But check now so that your limbs of the right side and your limbs of the left side, or equidistant from the very midline of your body. So your belly button is your marker for the midline. Also, you don't want your chin poking up to the ceiling, so draw the chin lightly in. And if you're not using the little cover over your head and you have a blanket underneath your head, scrunch it a bit so that your neck is completely supported. And now become aware of the outside of your shoulders and draw a line to the outside of your shoulders all the way to the outside of your pinkies. So you're feeling your pinkies kind of reaching toward your body. Good. Now let's do the same thing with the legs. So the outside of the hips, draw a line there to the outside of the baby toe. So they release down. And now become aware of softening the whole front of the body. So softening the front of the legs, the belly. So simply being aware of your inner breath. The breath that breathes you naturally. So no control, no effort. Feeling the movement into the solar plexus. Feeling the movement into your rib cage and chest. And with each long exhalation, your body releases a little bit more into the floor. It just sinks. Let go of the stressors of your week. Let go of the busyness of everyday life. Let go of the need to think or do anything at all, and simply practice doing nothing. And now be aware of your face, relaxing the lower jaw, the inside of the mouth, taking the tongue away from the teeth. Relax. Release the jaw. Relax the bridge of your nose and your nostrils. And now being aware of relaxing behind your eyes. And now feel the gaze of your eyes rest over the little pillows of the cheeks. Doing nothing. And now be aware of your wholeness. Be aware of the wholeness of your body. And bend your right knee and place the sole of your feet on the floor. And now bend the left knee. Place the sole of the foot on the floor. And roll over on your right side in like a fetal position. And just spend a moment there integrating between the practice and back into your daily life. And see if you can take with you some ease, calmness, maybe a little bit more peace. And now coming back up to seated position. Align your spine tall. And open the arms to the side. Reach outward with your fingers. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands together in front of the chest, thumbs to heart. Honor yourself and honor our group that joined us today. Even though you can see each other, we're all interconnected. Shanti, peace.